Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Just checking out what I'm up to with collecting. This is Books for the Horror Collection update 30. So I'll show you what I grabbed this go around. So here we go. First up is Stephen King's Night Shift. I figured a few of these Stephen King books will make a nice sort of companion piece to Dance Macabre, which was like the first Stephen King one I grabbed for the cinema book collection. That one's just basically him talking about all the horror movies that he loves and champions. So, and I figured some of his own stories that had later been made into movies and made for TV stuff would be perfect next to that book. So yeah, finally grabbed Night Shift. Love pretty much all these stories. You have The Mangler. Big fan of the movie. Have yet to actually read The Mangler, so that'll be a first for me. Then you have Graveyard Shift, which is amazing. Sometimes They Come Back. I don't know. That's another old favorite. Love that one. So cool. It'd be cool to read that one again as well. Sometimes They Come Back. So yeah, there's only been a certain amount that I've read from Stephen King, so I haven't read them all. But yeah, it's just nice to finally add in all these short stories from him. So it's Night Shift. And then following up with that one, I grabbed, I don't want to forget to mention, this particular edition, the cover to this book freaking glows in the dark, so that's awesome. I didn't know that when placing an order. I just simply liked the way the new book looked. And then, I forget what I was doing, but it was sometime during the night, and I just happened to look over and I noticed that this book was glowing in the dark, and I was like, no freaking way. That is freaking awesome. And especially since it didn't cost much. So just like the cherry on top, glow in the dark. So forgot I mentioned that. I didn't know that when I placed an order. So I might double dip and grab a newer edition for Skeleton Crew. Because if that glows in the dark, I'm pretty sure this got re-released around that same time with probably a glow-in-the-dark cover. So I don't know, I'm pretty content with having this OG, this old book here, since it's in really good condition. But man, it glows in the dark. I'll have to see what the new covers look for these, for the newer books. But anyway, Stephen King, Skeleton Crew. Again, awesome. You got The Mist, all-time favorite. Obviously, The Monkey, got that story in here. Monkey Shines. So really cool. And some other stories that I'm not too familiar with. I have not read... this is going to be a first for me. I've not read The Skeleton Crew, all his other short stories. So, cool. Check that out when I can. Dust Jacket is in decent condition. I'm glad to have it because without it, it would be pretty plain Jane. So, gotta have that. Some of these books, I'm probably just better off grabbing the softies instead of the hardcovers. But, oh well. I got a really good deal on this, and it's in really... Considering the age, it's in really great condition because I don't think whoever had this prior to me probably didn't even read it or maybe just read it once. And then I knocked these off my want list. I've been wanting these, but I wasn't sure if these would turn out to be buyer's remorse or not. This is volume 1 and 2 of Monsters, Makeup, and Effects, Conversations with Cinema's Greatest Artists. And I'm glad I did take a chance on these books because they're freaking awesome. A lot of behind the scenes images from the artists that get interviewed. So volume 1, and these are by Heather Wixson, by the way. So I'm finally going after these. There's only volume 1 and 2 that I'm aware of as of now. But here's who all get interviewed in this book. And volume 1. And I'll try and find... as far as if you got these without the dust jacket, it would be very boring. At least this one has the title of the book on the spine, so that's nice, but plain Jane, nothing on it. So, I probably should have grabbed these as softies, but oh well. These dipped real low in price. They didn't cost much. But tons and tons of pictures as well. A lot of behind the scenes makeup effects. Like I said, from each artist that gets interviewed. So nice to finally have these. There's definitely going to be an interesting read for sure. Going a little too fast. My apologies. Species. That's cool. It's a bit awkward trying to do it that way. Let's see if I can just... Got some Chud. Gotta have some goodness from Chud, so that's awesome. Wow, 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 wow. Poltergeist, that's cool. Even newer movies. I saw Marvel's Iron Man discussed in here as well, so that was cool. Jurassic Park. Pumpkinhead. Hold on, guys. Screaming Mad George, one of my all-time favorite artists for sure. Love that guy. He gets pretty wild with his stuff. So yeah, that's volume 1. I'm just kind of thumb through it real quick just to... Alright. Volume 2, here's all is being interviewed in this one. And this is pretty much the same thing without the dust jacket, just plain Jane and nothing on the spine. So, wow, definitely gonna want a cover for this one if you decide to go after the hardcover. This one is even more loaded with behind the scenes photographs and stuff. So cool. All black and white, but it's all printed really well. So I think volume 1 talked about, it's just anywhere from like low budget to like Hollywood mainstream. It's all over the place, which is great. Got John and his little fish ghoulie there. I believe that's from that particular fish ghoulie looks like from the first movie, which I think is the best looking one in my personal opinion. Just because it has that perfect little mischievous grin to it. Cool. You got some Congo. That's awesome. The practical effects still hold up to this day, so yeah, showing some love for Congo. Just watched that recently, thanks to Vinegar Center. That was an amazing addition. Congo. So cool. You guys get, okay, so this is volume 2. Awesome. I am glad I took a chance on these because I didn't know if these would be buyer's remorse or not, but these are really well done. Really nice books, so cool. And then adding some Krimi. It's just nice to have some Krimi being discussed, these movies. So let's look at the proto. So the proto to what would eventually turn it, like, become Jolly films and stuff. So long title here: German popular cinema and the Relato Krimi phenomenon. Dark Eyes of London. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but there you go. I have quite a few of these Krimi movies, but I to this day I only have them on DVD, so I'm waiting for a lot of these movies to hit Blu-ray. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, nice to finally. This dropped in price, so I jumped on it. Jumped on it ASAP because for a while it was going for stupid. It was going for like 45 and up, so got that added into the collection. Some more Krimi. And then another one, I just love these books that cover other subgenres within horror. Scary. This was on my Christmas wish list here. Another one I got during Christmas. Yeah, A Scary Little Christmas. A History of Yuletide Horror Films from 1972 to 2020 by Matthew C. Dupay, if I'm saying that right. Probably not. My apologies. But yeah, I had to get this. So this one's through McFarland Publishing. They've put out a lot of these books over the years. So awesome. There's the write up in the back. On the back, you can see that. They get pretty obscure. I saw one movie I'd never even heard of being talked about in this one. It's not that one. Even ones that have a bit of a cult following, like a movie called Dead End from 2009, I believe, or earlier, that gets discussed. So they cover a lot from 1972 to 2020. So, ooh, that's one of my favorites. The Invitation. It's basically just a cool witch-themed horror movie that takes place during the winter, or the holidays, you could say. It's unfortunate that's part of the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise, because I think that's why it gets frowned upon a lot. But that one is, speaking of Screaming Mad George, that one's got a lot of good practical effects, and just a really cool movie. But yeah, I love that one. Yeah, part 4 of Silent Night, Deadly Night, The Invitation. Cool witch-themed horror film for sure. So I'm glad that gets discussed. That's awesome. You got Clint Howard in that one. Of course, Silent Night, Deadly Night. But yeah, love these books that cover multiple upon multiple movies within a subgenre. So I love collecting this type. I'm repeating myself. My apologies, but yeah, got that in. And then I didn't have anything like this in my cinema book collection, so Comedy Horrors, A History of Comedy Horror Films. This is from 1914 up to 2008. So early 2010s. So check that out. Again, McFarland Publishing. This is another one I got during Christmas time. I'd been wanting this for like a long time, and it was a gift. Because I swear, this is one of the books that would just never go down in price. So definitely wanted to add that to my Christmas wish list. So cool. I'm going to dive into this book hardcore because I will admit that when it comes to horror comedies, I am extremely picky and a bit rusty, and sometimes I can be a bit unfair. I don't know. Comedy is very tough with the horror genre, so it'll just be an interesting book to see if I agree with what gets talked about and what gets. I don't know if these are rated or not. I think it's just a short summary with each one. So far, I'm seeing a lot of horror comedy that I do love. So cool. Hold on. Young Frankenstein. That's cool. Reanimator. Love that poster. Evil Dead. I believe that was probably for part 2. That's when it starts getting a bit comical. Killer Clowns. So yeah, not gonna bore you too much with that. You get it. And then this, nice to finally get this off my want list. Been eyeing this one. This is another book that just took forever to have one for a reasonable price, and that is Horror Dogs, Man's Best Friend as Movie Monsters, by Brian Patrick Duggan, if I'm saying that right, forwarded by John Towson. Yeah, Horror Dogs. So horror movies are just movies in general, going over, vicious dogs. So one that I'm still waiting on that I hope makes the leap onto Blu-ray and or 4K at this point is a movie called White Dog. And I don't know if Criterion still has that one in their catalog or not nowadays, but I mean, it covers, obviously, you're going to talk about John Carpenter's The Thing with the Huskies. But it covers some sort of lowbrow movies too. Like, I don't know if I can find it, but I saw that it covered a movie called Rottweiler. I thought that was cool. So they dig a little deep. They dig a little deep with, yeah, there we go. They dig a little deep with some of these movies. So that's appreciated. Of course, you got to talk about Cujo. All black and white photos, which is fine. Nicely printed stuff, so yeah, I dig the McFarlane books. They're nice. Especially considering when they first come out, they're always at a reasonable price. But if you're late to the party like me, you gotta wait for like a good deal. So only nice to grab that. Horror Dogs. Cool little subgenre within horror. And then definitely one of the highlights in this update, since I, over the past few years, had gotten back into collecting tapes, unfortunately. I'll be glad when it's fun, but at the same time, it's like, gosh, dang it. They've skyrocketed in price over the years. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Videotapes from Hell. Gotta love that freaking cover to this book, man. You got Tarman holding up a tape. That's awesome. With some other kooky characters in the background. Just other zombies in a cemetery. Got some gravestones back there. You got trash and some of the punks from the Return of the Living Dead movie in the background there. Awesome. Edited by Stephen Jones, forwarded by Joe Dante. Here's the back. I grabbed that tape not too long ago. That is an awesome cover. So cool. This is going to make me want to like go tape hunting again. So this book is like dangerous. Nice glossy, well printed pages. This is Applause? Yeah, from Applause. I have a few other books. Great fan, yeah, great company. And you get definitely worth your money. Good quality stuff. Awesome. That's a fun movie. I love that one. The sequel's fun too. Look at that. That's going to make me want to go hunt for some tapes now. Cool. So yeah, good stuff. That's pretty sharp. It's a good book. That was actually a pre-order. It was supposed to come out sometime in December, but I guess I got delayed, and I didn't get that until like sometime last month, end of last month, something like that. Anyway, here's one that it's just a nice book to have, even though I have other books that pretty much cover every movie that this book covers. It's still unique in its own way, and it really is a nice book. So it was on my want list, so I'm glad to finally knock that off. That's another one I got during Christmas. Essential Horror Movies, Matinee Monsters to Cult Classics, by Michael Mallory, and there's the company that put this book out. I'm not going to say that right, but yeah. Yeah, got Christopher Lee in the back there. Pretty cool. And without the dust jacket, you do have some art still, so that's nice. Open it up, get this nice collage of all these classics. Awesome. Without the dust jacket, what does this look like? Okay, you still get some nice art there along with the title and the spine, so that's appreciated. I think you do, right? Yeah. So cool. And it's just a really cool book to add to the collection, even though I've got multiple other books that pretty much cover all these movies. But this, I like how this one's put together. Night of the Demon, that's an awesome movie. A little bit ahead of its time for sure, how that one was put together. Just a really nice big fat book there. Yeah, another one to throw onto the coffee table, I guess you could say. So that's that one. And then collecting more what Marvel has done with horror comics. So, because I'm completely new to a lot of that stuff. I mean, Man-Thing's about the only thing I've known about as far as Marvel horror goes. So, of course, this goes over Man-Thing, goes over Morpheus. Obviously, Blade is mentioned in this one. So, yeah, Marvel Horror, the magazine collection. This book itself is okay. I thought it would be a bit more in-depth considering it to be an archive book, but it's not bad. It's still cool to have, so... So I'll add it to the collection. It's no regrets. I just thought it would be... I thought it would go a little more in-depth. It's just a few stories hand-picked from random volumes of certain series. Like you got like 1 or 2 stories from Morpheus, a few like one from Blade, you got a Dracula one. This is completely new to me. I think there's one I think there's a few by Werewolf by Night in here, so that's one I'm recently learning about, is the Werewolf by Night. I don't know anything about that one, so that'll be interesting. Kind of play catch up on that. So I just think it's great grabbing some more Marvel horror. So I got a lot of catching up to do. The Tomb of Dracula, pretty much new to that. The Monster of Frankenstein, that's cool. And Werewolf by Night, that's the only one that I'm familiar with, because I had grabbed a nice cool collectible toy piece, and that's what made me dig further and further into that one. Yeah, that. And then collecting more of these. I'm almost caught up, so got a good deal on this one. This one dropped way down in price, and I think this is another one. No, never mind. It's another one I'm thinking of. This was one I got for Christmas. Cayman's Calamity and Other Stories. So I love these EC Comics Archives, the library series. Can't go wrong with these. These are a lot of fun and just well put together. I've gushed over these books enough, but here's another one finally adding into the collection. Cool. And then finishing off as far as these softies. This is volume 5 of the Tales from the Crypt, so I'm done with that now. So I have them all in black and white and with newly colorized editions. So I like them both for different reasons. So cool. As well as included in that. So I'm done. I'm done with these now. At least with the Tales from the Crypt I am. And continuing on with the Creepy, collecting all these Creepy archive books. This is volume 9, issues 42 through 45. So these are definitely fun to collect and just easy to build. I'm very happy with these reprints. Then going through the headache of trying to collect the originals, these are just fine by me. So yeah, good to get back into Dark Horse, because I haven't touched anything Dark Horse since the 90s. So as far as horror goes, they reeled me back in for sure. So awesome. Got that, volume 9. And I don't think they're going to start pumping out volumes until later on this year, probably around August or around August or September. So Eerie, this is also volume 9 for Eerie, issues 42 through 46. So nearly halfway there. Not yet. Pretty cool. All black and white except for the magazine covers, which is awesome. Check that out. All right. So that's the horror comics this go around. I'm just focused on the Eeries and Creepies, and then trying to get some more Marvel. I got quite a bit of the DC horror stuff last time, as far as the big archive books. But I'm slowly chipping away on some of that classic stuff. Now on to, I guess, what I would call just miscellaneous stack here. I'm wanting to get more werewolf and vampire stuff, so werewolf I'll try and dig more into next time. But as far as vampire goes, I'm about pretty much satisfied with all the vampire books I have. Definitely wanted to get this one because this has like a ton of great reviews. It's Vampires, Burial, and Death. So it goes a little bit more in depth of the whole lore of the vampires. So by Paul Barber. So really cool. This book is all business too. Really cool. So yeah, looking forward to learning some more on the whole vampire mythology and everything. So Burial and Death along with it. Really cool. This is a very short book here. This is put out by Yale. I have a few Yale books. So that's that. And then I think I got two more that I want to go after as far as talking about the history of like torture devices and that kind of thing. This is The Big Book of Pain. Torture and Punishment Through History by Mark P. Donnelly and Daniel Dolly. If I'm saying that right, probably not. But yeah, didn't cost much. Another one I've just been eyeing for quite a while. I'm about done with collecting these history of torture theme books. There's some older ones that came out, older books that came out in the 70s and 80s. I already have the newer books, so it's all just recycling the same images and whatnot. So I'm gonna pass on those. So I'm about done with collecting books on this topic. So, but yeah, I had to grab that. Cool. And then I'm wanting to get a few more books on just on witches and what I guess the things that witches, just witchcraft in general. So this is The Witch's Door, Oddities and Tales from the Historic to the Extreme, by Ryan Matthew Cohn. I'm probably not saying his last name right, my apologies. And Regina M. Rossi. A lot of great reviews on this particular book. It's a little difficult for me to sort of pick out which books to sort of take a chance on when it comes to like witchcraft and stuff. I know I have some that deal with voodoo and hoodoo from Louisiana and certain other parts of the country or the world. But as far as like stuff that just talks about objects and stuff, I wasn't sure. But yeah, this one seemed to be a safe bet to sort of go after. Really stinking cool. So, yep, all this is completely new to me, but stuff I just find fascinating. So, another book to dive into and learn some things from, because I'm completely ignorant to a lot of this stuff. So, that's that. And then this is a beautiful book. I don't think you can ever have enough books that are on like ghost stories. So here's one off my want list. Absolutely gorgeous. It is The Ghost Stories of M.R. James, edited by Roger Lockhurst, the British Library. Beautiful book. So yeah, I had to get some more books on ghost stories. So cool. It's quite a few stories in this one, so I love the size to it. I usually start reading stuff like this like towards the end of the year. Like right now would be perfect to start reading some ghost stories in the evening. And then another one. This book is amazing. I've got a few of these DK editions, and I had to go after this one as well. Some more ghost stories. This is a history of ghosts, spirits, and the supernatural. Beautiful. You don't really know how these books are gonna be until you get them in person. You know what I mean? Some of the reviews are pretty in-depth online. Like people actually take photographs of the book, and you can get a better idea. But this one shocked me. I had no idea it would be this. Same with this. That would just be beautiful in person. Very nice. Another one to add to the coffee table. It's a coffee table book for sure. I did play around with the lighting in this room, so my apologies, guys. It's just as good as it's going to get. I'm not worried about so much me, just as long as you can see what I'm showing you. So that's that. Well, okay, that fell over. So I'm going to have to figure something out next time. I might have to do the book collection update in the movie room. I'll just have to sit on the floor for that, because that's not going to work out. So they look to be okay. So I just have a mess to clean up now. All right, and the last book for this collection haul is it's a big book. Frank is the Fantastic Paintings of Frazetta. Frank Frazetta. So my second book on him. He's got two more I'd like to get. Maybe I don't want to just have a bunch of books that are basically just repeating the same things. So really cool. Check that out. That's pretty wicked. Okay. So yeah. Big one. Beautiful book, obviously. So yeah. That is the update for now as far as books go. That's the haul this go around. So I appreciate your time. I've got a mess to clean up. It happens. It's not the first time. So yeah, thanks for watching, and take it easy. Later.